From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's time to dive into the world of Casper College athletics with another episode of the Casper College Coaches Show. Now here's your host, Phil Kohler.
Welcome fans of the Casper College Coaches Show. I'm your host, Phil Kohler, joined as always by Dwight Gennari, the head coach of the women T-Birds. Coach, you guys get a split this weekend at Western Nebraska. Start with Friday at Western Nebraska. You guys lose 75-69. Talk a little bit about what that game was like for you.
It was a good college basketball game. It was back and forth quite a bit. We had opportunities to win down the stretch. I think, maybe one of the positives that we had is we got down by double digits two different times in the game. I think once in the first half and once in the second half, and then come back and retook the leads both times. And I think we led late in the game, like maybe 2 minutes to go in the game, and we missed a couple free throws. They went down. And to their credit, they hit 2 or 3 big-time threes in the last 3 minutes to pull away. But great game, very good team. They're 10-1. They received votes this week, and very deservingly.
Sure. Well, and always tough to do on the road, especially coming back from a deficit. Andy Schistler leads the way, 17 points, 9 rebounds. Logan Alvar, 14 and 11. Angela Astorga, 18 and 6. You guys seem like you were a little bit more aggressive offensively. Is that something that you preached this week?
We were, and especially I thought Angela was. Angela is very good at attacking the rim, and she did that against Western Nebraska probably better than any of our other team was able to do, and she didn't always convert, but she got to the free throw line 14 times and did a really good job there. Andy is just complete. She can score, inside, outside a little bit as far as driving and catch and shoot. And then Logan, again, is the same. She has multiple ways to score, offensive rebounds being one of the best. So, those three were very good offensively, and hopefully with our team we don't have to count on 3 every night, but we can have 3 different ones, but it was a good night for those 2 or 3.
Absolutely. Well, and so we talked last week about the importance of rebounding in this game. Mm-hmm. You guys end up winning the rebounding battle by 10, hold them to just 9 offensive rebounds, but you guys lose the turnover battle by 6. Seemed kind of like 3-point shooting was the difference in the game. They hit a couple of big threes, like you said.
It was. I think they had 7 in the second half, I think. And that was 7 for 16 in the second half, which is almost 50%. And we did do a great job on the boards. And Faith Walker, who was averaging right around 6 offensive rebounds a game, had 0. So we were very pleased with that. But when you bring up the turnover things, that definitely was the difference in the first half. And their full court pressure not only turned us over a little bit too much in the first half, but it has also disoriented us in offense. We were just a little bit out of sync there. Figured it out a little better in the second half. But the turnover thing was probably the stat that got us the most.
Well, in a team you're going to see again in January and then potentially again in March. Mm-hmm. Hopefully this is going to be a learning experience for your kids, especially against that press.
It is. It's another situation where, you're playing a good team, got a chance to get better. Both teams will have another opportunity to feel each other out and prepare for tournament. But again, they received votes this week. They beat CSI by 8 or 9 on Saturday, which is a very quality win. So they're going to be a handful along with NJC coming out of the South.
Sure. So then moving on to Saturday, again at Western Nebraska, you guys beat Otero 81-48, a game where you get 13 different players scoring, a little bit of a different night than Saturday or than Friday was. This is a type of team that you're potentially going to see in round 1 of a Region 9 play, right? A team from the South. How did that game go on Saturday? It sounded like things ran pretty smooth.
Very, very pleased with that game. There was a lot of positives coming out of there. Number one, they started out zone, and we haven't seen a ton of zone up to this point. We've seen some possessions. We'll probably see more coming up this weekend. But so we saw zone for the first time in the first half there, and it took us a bit, but we figured it out, and we attacked that. Another thing is they had 2 really good 3-point shooters and ran a lot of sets to get them looks. We've only got a little time to prepare for those. Our kids executed our defense very well there. So very pleased with how we played defensively, especially against their 2 shooters, and then how we addressed the zone.
Well, and so all weekend, you guys, Friday night shoot 27 free throw attempts, Saturday 29. Obviously, you're not settling for the 3 ball against the zone, which is what the zone is designed to do, right? Mm-hmm. Is that something that you guys have preached as far as being more aggressive trying to get to the rim?
We do. We need to have a balance, and it can't be just catch and shoot shots. We have to get it inside, and getting it inside isn't just to your post players. You have to be able to get it inside off of screens and cuts, or get it inside off of driving. And when you do those things and crash the offensive rebounds, you're going to have a chance to go to the offense or go to the free throw line. fine.
Sure. Angela Astorga chips in 10 more points on Saturday. Seems like it was her best offensive weekend so far. Tell me what she's brought to the table and then just the maturity process that she's had even since the beginning of the season.
Great job. She even hit a couple threes on Saturday, which is really good because, she's got a great interior driving game and she gets to the free throw line very well. Really would love to see her develop that three-point shot along with a mid-range game. If she can score at all three levels and they have to respect that, her first step is very good. She gets by and she's very good on her first step. So we're going to keep working on her developing the second two levels, and it was really encouraging on Saturday to see her take a couple threes with a lot of confidence.
Absolutely. Coach, we're going to get to know Angela just a little bit better. Here is 94 Feet with Angela Astorga. This is 94 Feet with Angela Astorga. Angela, you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's do this. First off, who on your team has the best nickname?
That would be ABC. That's her nickname.
That's pretty basic, but I like it. Okay. Who's your favorite player to watch growing up?
It was Allen Iverson.
Yeah, I was a big Sixers fan as well. If you had the opportunity to get a dream job, what's the one job that you would really like to do when you get older?
It would be an addiction counselor that specialized in addiction. Sorry.
Awesome. You get an opportunity to take a road trip. Who's the one teammate that you're taking with you?
Logan, probably take her back to my hometown.
Awesome. You guys are down 3 late in the game. You need somebody to make a 3-point shot. Who are you counting on to hit it?
Most likely Andy.
All right, last question. You come from Ethity, the Wyoming Indian faithful, pretty big noisemakers at basketball games. Who's got a better crowd, Ethity or Casper College?
Ethity.
But Casper College brings a pretty good crowd, right?
Yeah, they're a good crowd. Thank you, guys.
This has been 94 Feet with Angela Astorga.
Okay.
Nailed it. Good job. Thank you. Welcome back, fans. And just like Angela said, Ethity, a great environment for a high school basketball game here in Wyoming if you've never been. But, Coach, you've got some great fans here at Casper, too. You gotta give them the credit where it's due.
Love it. And I pointed this out. We do a lot of video session when we're doing scouts. And it's not what I'm scouting,
Sure.
But you can look up in the stands and there's just a handful of people in a lot of these games, and we're talking top 25 teams.
Yeah.
And I'm just so happy with our fan base and appreciative of our fan base because that's not the norm. I think Casper College fans probably support just as good or better than anybody in Region 9, and I would say outside of the region. So very fortunate here.
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to you guys getting back home after the new year. But first, this weekend, you guys travel up to Gillette, Region 9 versus Region 13 matchup that you guys have, starting with Miles Thursday, 4:15. A team that comes in 4-8 overall, they struggle offensively a little bit, but obviously you're not going to take a team like that for granted. Talk about what you've seen from Miles so far.
Absolutely not going to. I know their coach, Jenna Bolstead, played for me when I was at Miles Community College. Great competitor. She was great to coach. All the respect in the world for her. We played her team in Denver in the Jamboree, and we end up winning by double digits, but that team's going to compete. They reflect their coach's personality and work ethic. So, if shots are falling for Miles Community College, they are going to be a big handful for us on Thursday.
Absolutely. So then moving into Friday, 2:30 on Friday, you guys have what's going to be the big game of the weekend. Williston comes in 11-0, outscoring opponents by 25 points a game. They've only been played to single digits twice so far this year. What have you seen from them, and what can we expect from Friday?
Really appreciate what they do offensively. They're probably one of the better teams as far as not only just potential scorers at every level, but they run their sets with execution. They run their sets with pace. They go through, there's a lot of scoring options out of all their actions, and, they look for them. They're just a real well offensive team that's disciplined, but yet has a lot of talent. So they're going to be, if we could keep them in 60s, that's a defensive feat.
Well, and they come in averaging almost 80 points a game. Do you guys adjust anything defensively with a team like that is so high-powered offensively, or do you just do the best you can to try to hold them down?
You really do. You have to be, aware of who scores best in what situations. And we always talk about our core, but if your closeouts aren't very good, if you're late on your closeouts, they're going to knock down their threes. If you're running at them, they're going to go by you. If you play behind inside, they're going to score. So we've got to be really tight with our core fundamentals on defense to keep them below that 70 mark. That's for sure.
Sure. And then moving into Saturday, 9 a.m. against Dawson. Dawson comes in 4-5 overall. They've got a gal in Kylie Old Oak that's 21st in the country in scoring. What have you seen from Dawson so far?
They have several good scorers. Evelyn Old Coyote is a good scorer, as long as Kylie Old Elk. They both can score out on the perimeter, and they both can score inside. Kylie played at Williston last year, so we're a little bit familiar with her, and she was a good three-point shooter there. Now her game's advanced. They also have a post player that scored 20 in their last game that hadn't played up to there. So, when teams start adding players and good players now, those records you can throw out the window. So we anticipate another battle on Saturday morning.
Absolutely. Well, and then Saturday morning at 9 a.m., Coach, that's not an ideal game time for really anybody. Obviously, in a tournament like this where it's just the way that the schedule falls, how difficult is it going to be for your kids to get up and play at 9 a.m.?
It is if we let it be.
Sure.
That's the whole thing is, if you're going to spin it where, my goodness, we're playing at 9 o'clock, or if you're going to spin it, oh, good, we get to play a basketball game, whenever that time is. Dawson's going to be playing at 9 as well, and if we handle that a little bit better than us, then 9 a.m. is an advantage. So it's a mental thing more than anything else, and we'll do our best to get them awake and get them ready to go, but maybe I should have practiced at 6 a.m. all week this week and get ready for that, but they might have had a little revolt.
Well, from what I know about you, 6 a.m. is just perfect for you, right? You've got the same energy at 6 a.m.
Trust me, if I knew they would have quality practices at 6 a.m., we would be morning practices.
Yeah, I understand. Well, so, Coach, so far in the schedule, it seems like you've had a good mixture of teams that are really, really competitive and also some teams that you're going to be able to build some confidence against. Is that something that you kind of work out with the schedule, just the way it worked out this year? Or?
It's perfect. Early on, it's all about getting better.
Sure.
But you've got to have results. If you're going to play teams that are significantly better on you every night, then you're going to start losing confidence, and you're not going to. If you play teams that you're 25 points better than, then you're going to get false positives. So our schedule couldn't be better. Our 3 losses are to ranked teams or receiving votes. Western Nebraska got into receiving votes. NJC is ranked 24th right now, and USU Eastern 16th. So those are the quality teams that we've gone up against, and we have quality wins against Snow twice and Northern Idaho, and yes, and then the following week we play New Mexico Junior College, who's top 4, I believe, in the country, and then South Plains and McCook. So perfect fall schedule. We have a good balance of really, really good teams and teams we should compete with.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so Coach, Thursday 4:15 against Miles, Friday 2:30 against Williston, and then Saturday 9 a.m. against Dawson. Anything else for you?
No, we're excited. We have 6 games left before the fall semester. It's amazing how fast this semester has gone, both from a basketball standpoint and just from an academic standpoint. Finals week next week, and kids are doing great academically. So I'm very pleased with our fall so far.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, best of luck to you this week. We'll be back next week. And fans, remember, and especially you, Dan Russell, always shoot for the stars, because even if you miss, there's always a chance for an offensive rebound. Thanks for joining us.